Hi, I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac. The Riddler has Batman and Robin trapped, and they're about to drown in a 15-foot-tall quicksand cake. Let that sink in for a moment.
Holy Titanic, Batman, we're going down for the last time.
Don't be a pessimist, Robin. Many of those who survived that tragedy did so by remaining calm and treading water until help arrived.
Actually, by the time help arrived, most of the people who did that had frozen to death, but we won't talk about that.
But this is quicksand.
I know, Robin. But I seem to recall a recent report on jungle survival which indicated that many victims of quicksand are victims because of their own panic.
It's not doing a lot for my nerves either.
The specific gravity of quicksand approximates that of water.
That's why you're sinking at the same rate you would in water, right?
If we remain calm and motionless, we shouldn't sink much further than your lower lip.
It's working, Batman.
I learned about that in 2nd grade. It was common knowledge that if you kick around in quicksand, you sink faster. It was also common knowledge that the average quicksand pit was only about 3 feet deep. But they weren't in a cake.
Yes. One thing worries me, though. How long can we keep floating?
We won't have to float long, old chum. If our experimental heel and toe bat rockets perform as well as they should.
Between the bat rockets and the bat springs we saw with the Archer, the soles of their boots are 8 inches tall. That's why Robin keeps tripping over his own feet during fights. We don't get to see the landing because they just went straight up and came straight down right back into the cake. They had to do it 4 more times before they figured out how to change their trajectory so they'd only land on nice soft pavement. In his hideout, Riddler hears on TV that Batman and Robin are still alive.
That mealy-mouthed faker issued a joint statement with Batman and Robin, did he? Well, he knows and we know that the caked crusaders are defunct, departed, demised.
Drowned?
Dead!
What if he isn't lying? What if Batman and Robin are?
Alive? Impossible, dear Anagram. Even if it were possible, it couldn't matter less. One more cunning caper and I'll have the price of Professor Charm's demolecularizer. Then, let them send a regiment of Batmen against me!
At HQ, Batman and crew are trying to figure out Riddler's latest clue.
When is an eagle's nest blessed best?
Seems to me that any nest is most blessed when there are little ones in it.
Yes.
Or nest eggs. Riddler's after a nest egg.
Which leads me to speculate that he intends to strike an eagle's nest somewhere here in Gotham City. Do you agree, Robin?
I agree.
But there hasn't been an eagle in Gotham City in 75 years.
We shot them all ages ago to keep them from carrying our children off. Then we found out they don't do that. Oh well. There aren't any eagles in Gotham City, but there's an upscale nightclub called the Airy where the rich go to hang out and show off how rich they are.
And a perfect target for an aquilin attack.
Aquilin. That's a very descriptive word, Commissioner Gordon. Are you acquainted with its etymology, Robin?
Aquilin, of or like an eagle. From aquila, Latin for eagle.
Those Greek lessons sure paid off.
Yes. And what Latin eagle now lives, resides, or nests here in Gotham City?
Anthony Aquila, the exiled dictator from South America.
And a multimillionaire who's rumored to keep at least $1 million in cash in his wall safe at all times.
Batman logic gets the answer every time. They head over to check on him. Riddler and his men are already there and have the safe open.
The answer to a hard heart's dream. Ha ha! Don't stand there staring at it, the loot sack knaves! Ha! Fill it, quickly!
That loot sack is blue because it's not waterproof. Waterproof ones are red, as we already saw. Acme carried both kinds at the time. They grab all the money and get ready to leave when the inevitable party pooper appears.
As a duly deputized peace officer, I order you to drop that sack and give yourself up.
Possible. 15 feet of lethal quicksand.
They sure don't look defunct to me, Riddler. Or demised, departed, and dead.
How? How did they survive?
Right was on our side, that's how.
Right and rockets, so there. The fight is short since there's only 2 goons. They confront Riddler and say, give up. He says, no, you're gonna watch me walk out of here with this loot sack and not do a thing about it. Here's why.
At ease, old chum, I suspect. Riddler's prisoner is Senor Aquila himself.
Brilliant deduction. Hold this. I prepared this tricky cage in case the news report was true and you two showed up. In mere moments, an explosive charge inside that ticking green box will send Senor Aquila and his palatial penthouse higher than any eagle has ever flown.
Unless
you and Junior here unlock the secret to these baffling bars and disarm the bomb in time. Well, adios, amigos.
Riddler does indeed walk out while the dynamic duo watch him because they have to save this guy.
Some of the medieval puzzle cages were designed so that all the intersecting rods were dependent upon the axis of only one supporting rod. Disengaging that one rod locks the entire cage.
No way Robin figured that out on his own. I think Riddler left printed instructions on the base plate and he was just reading them.
Stay clear.
Inside the box was a puppy. Batman didn't realize what it was, and when it jumped at him, he dropped the box and ran away screaming.
curious, but decidedly unexplosive.
To whom it may concern. If the tail fits, wear it.
I think he just called you a jack.
There you are, Professor. $3 million.
I must admit, Mr. Riddler, you are a man of your word.
Where do we go to pick up the demolecularizer?
Oh, I have it with me at all times.
This is the demolecularizer?
He explains that it's powerful enough to disrupt the nature of matter, but simple enough to charge by plugging into the wall. Then he demonstrates.
Watch that green derby on that chair over there.
Riddler decided to try it himself, but he accidentally hit the money and it vanished. The professor sued, claiming he owned the weapon. Riddler countersued, claiming he had paid for the weapon, and what happened to the money after that was not his concern. When they showed up to give their testimonies, they were both arrested and remain in prison to this day.
And I have Gotham City right by the throat! Get Commissioner Gordon on the phone. He should be the first to know.
There's one problem with this thing. There's no way to bring something back. When it's gone, it's gone. That could present a few problems, but right now Riddler isn't thinking that far ahead. The call told Commissioner Gordon that he and Batman should keep an eye on this particular statue. Notice the guy with a broom, because neither of them will.
Do you think he would dare desecrate the statue of our revered war hero right here in Coley Square?
A life of crime has worn the Riddler's moral fiber to a frayed strand, Commissioner. You may have little respect for the memory of the great Marshal Coley.
While they're watching, Riddler pulls out his little demolecularizer and puts it to work.
Holy Houdini!
Great slithering snakes! The Marshal, he's gone!
That guy was closest to it, so he might have seen something we didn't. Stop him and question him.
Uncanny.
Okay, is the Riddler in Neverwhere? They act like they can't even see him. While they stand there gawking at the pedestal, a messenger rides up.
Unless Gotham City is declared an open city and all criminal statutes rescinded within 2 hours, police headquarters will disappear as surely and as quickly as Marshal Coley's statue.
He wants an entire city with no laws. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, he's only bluffing.
I'm afraid not, Chief. Listen to this. If the city fathers refuse to capitulate after police headquarters is gone, building after building will disappear. Until they do.
To confound us further, the telegram ends with a riddle.
Telegrams were charged by the word. That one must have cost as much as the demolecularizer.
What is it that travels on all fours in the morning, on 2 legs at noon, and 3 at twilight? If you intend to follow me, add the answer to the other 3.
That may be the oldest riddle ever found. It's known as the riddle of the Sphinx, and the answer is man. He crawls as a baby, walks on 2 legs as an adult, and uses a cane when he gets old. If Batman doesn't already know this one, in the Batmobile we discover that he does know it, but Robin only just figured it out.
Congratulations, Robin. Now let's concentrate on the last part of Riddler's challenge. If you intend to follow me, add the answer to the other 3. We'll select the key words from each of the first 3 riddles: page, banquet, eagle's nest, and man.
Time for some Batman logic.
For instance, the letter P in the word page is the 16th letter in the alphabet. Using numerical positions in the alphabet as a common denominator, we then add the number 2 for banquet, and 5 for eagles,
And 13 for man.
and the total?
36.
36.
4 times 9, 6 times 6, 3 times 12. Could you be more vague?
36 inches in a yard, or 3 feet.
And who has 3 feet? Do you?
No one.
Or no man? I seem to recall a recent announcement of a factory opening by that name. Robin, activate the remote Bat computer again.
The Bat computer gives them the address and off they go, after a call to Gordon and his crack police force.
Commissioner,
Yes, Batman.
could you arrange for the immediate delivery of 4 100-pound sacks of sodium dichloride to the Batcopter? I'll explain later.
Consider it done. Anything else?
Yes, do not, I repeat, do not capitulate to any of Riddler's demands until you hear from me under any circumstances.
The best I have been able to discover, sodium dichloride is a chemical compound that doesn't exist in this world. I found exactly one product that claims to have granules of it for chlorinating pool or spa water, but I couldn't find any information about such a compound itself. Considering we've had fake government buildings like the Gotham City Mint and the Hexagon, I'll venture a guess that we're making up chemicals too. Riddler and company are watching the TV, waiting for the deadline and hopefully the city's announcement.
Well, we've moved every piece of furniture in this building. We've looked under every rug, but nothing could be found.
Well, what is it that you and your elite squad are looking for?
Well, we don't exactly know, but we'll keep right on looking till the very last second.
I would hope they're looking for anything out of the ordinary and not just something obvious. But with these guys, you never know.
Thank you, Chief.
Poor Chief O'Hara, knocking himself out, looking all over the building for the demolecularizer when it's hidden right there in the commissioner's office.
It is?
When did you manage to do that?
On my way back from Marshal Coley Square, I plugged it into an ordinary electrical outlet behind the commissioner's couch.
They've moved every piece of furniture in the building and they didn't notice a weird pen light that nobody's ever seen before plugged in behind the couch. He says if the city gives in, he'll tell Gordon how to deactivate the automatic switch. But wait, if it's inside the building attached to it and it vaporizes the building, won't it destroy itself too? And is he sure that thing can take out an entire building? He could end up just vaporizing the commissioner's couch. Batman and Robin wing their way across the city with the sodium dichloride and arrive at the puzzle factory. But they were in the... How'd they get to the... Where's the sodium dichloride?
No time to use the stairs. We'll have to try the bat rope.
If you'd stayed in the Batcopter, you could have just landed on the roof, and you'd still have your sodium dichloride.
Stand clear.
Inside, Riddler and his gang are watching the countdown.
As the seconds tick away, the clouds above police headquarters seem to be darkening as though a storm were imminent. Just 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, come on. That's too convenient even for this show.
What happened?
The demolecularizer.
It didn't work. I knew it was a cheap flashlight. Flashlight. Flashlight!
your mother ever tell you not to play with electricity?
Well, huh?
You two, how did you do it?
The supercharged electrical power of that lightning bolt neutralized the effect of your fiendish weapon.
That much was obvious.
How did you know the lightning would strike at the right time?
We arranged for it.
Cloud seeding with 400 pounds of sodium dichloride. Fortunately, my calculations proved correct.
Cloud seeding. A notoriously unreliable method of making it rain or snow, not making thunderstorms. And the most common seeding is done with dry ice. Sometimes sodium chloride, regular salt, is used, but I guess it's not as precise as sodium dichloride. With that, you can even calculate where and when lightning will strike right down to the second. Environmentalists need to get their hands on this stuff.
As usual, your riddles led us right to you.
You've made the mistake of being predictable yourselves with your legendary window entrances. Riddle me this. When is a floor like a puzzle?
Okay, that didn't work. What else you got in your bag of tricks? Apparently nothing, because it's time for the final fight. What is this and what do I do with it?
Nice catch, Chief.
Let go of me, you blue-coated baboon!
I'll bet she's the toughest one of the bunch.
She's the only one still kicking.
In the epilogue, the professor has an attack of conscience and is returning the money.
Coming forward voluntarily with this stolen charity money should tip the scales of justice in your favor, Professor.
No man can live with the wails of hungry children on his conscience.
I'll bet the Riddler could.
Professor, when you've paid your debt to society, you'll be able to continue your scientific studies under the wing of the Gotham City Science Institute.
Their good friend Bruce Wayne convinced them to lower the educational requirement. Batman and Robin take the money and run.
Amazing man. Do you know who is under that mask of his?
To us, Professor, who he is nowhere near as important as where he is. At all times.
That's why we secretly replaced his bat coffee with radioactive crystals. We can track him anywhere. He really thinks we don't know where the bat cave is. O'Hara plays dumb to throw him off. And I'm right good at it, too. John Astin made an outstanding Riddler. He brought some of the swagger to the character, and he didn't try to be over the top like Frank Gorshin. That's good because he's a much more low-key actor. That's why he was so good as Gomez Adams, the happy-go-lucky millionaire who just might rip your face off for the fun of it. Or the Riddler, off-the-rails crazy but with a sinister purpose that he keeps tucked away and you only catch glimpses of it. Or Harry Anderson's father on Night Court, where he had the whole country saying, "But I'm much better now." I'm really glad he went with his strength because this is a memorable character. If Frank Gorshin never came back, I would be happy with this. Again, in 1967, I didn't give him a chance, and clearly I missed a great performance. I did the same thing when Eartha Kitt played Catwoman. She wasn't Julie Newmar, so I wasn't interested. We'll talk more about that when we get there. What can I say? I was an idiot. I was 13. Same thing. I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac.